What up, you lab rats? This is episode number 29, and today we're talking about sleep. Sleep is so important. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Lab Rat Dailies, because being a lab rat is not just a Wednesday practice, peeps. It's a daily practice. Okay, so I was pretty excited to start the daily show yesterday when my friend Raymond kind of pushed me over the edge and said, do it. And I was like, all right. And last night I was so excited with ideas and even thinking about, how am I going to create content? What am I going to do? What does it mean for me now that we're doing a daily show? And how is it going to burden me at all? And I haven't even had the conversation with Kevin saying like, oh shit, that one of my cameras is going to go out of battery. I'm just looking at the blinker right now. Oh, well, shit happens. So I haven't even had the conversation to sit down with Kevin to say, hey, I wanted to do a daily show. And I haven't even had that conversation with him because he's been so busy. So that's kind of what happens over here. I think the moment we get a chance, we're going to sit down and talk about it today. And I'm just going to let him know what's going on in my brain. And I think that's important, that if you have a partner in business or in life, that you always kind of give them a heads up of what you're doing. Even though Kevin is not directly involved with what I'm doing, it always helps to be considerate, I think, from my perspective, to be considerate of your partner and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. These are my plans. These are my goals. And when you include them, it makes them feel good too. It's like, it's not that I need his permission. It's that I want to include him. Right. And I want him to understand that I want to include him. So that's definitely a conversation that we're going to have today. And I'm not going to put it off, because sometimes I'll get just so into my thing. I'll get so excited about what I'm doing that I'll be a little bit arrogant about it and be like, oh, they don't want to know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to even tell them. So whether it's your family or your partner or, even your friends, they like to be included. So I got to remind myself to do that and be a little bit more considerate. So today's show, number 29, as we're climbing up the ranks here, I wanted to talk about sleep because, like I was saying, I was sitting there and I plan to go to sleep early because I want to wake up earlier. I'd been kind of sleeping in like a little snooze bear, enjoying the cold and the coziness of the winter season. And I've been sleeping in till about 8:30, maybe even 9:30 sometimes. And that felt really good, guys. I felt incredibly rested, but I was sleeping very late. And so this may be a habit of yours, guys, to sleep late, wake up late, and that whole kind of thing. And that's all right if that's, the kind of person that you are. But I'm not, right? I'm not. And so I knew that wasn't me. And so I wanted to get up earlier so I can get more done. I'm a morning person when the morning is dedicated to me and my tasks. If it's like get up in the morning to go to a job that I don't like, then I'm definitely not a morning person. So right now it's about 7:51. I would say that's early, especially early because I never put on makeup that early, unless I was going to like a corporate job or whatever. But getting back to the story, I couldn't sleep last night. Okay, that's the point of this whole story. I couldn't sleep last night. I keep getting distracted. I couldn't sleep last night. And it was because I was so excited. And sleep is really important, guys. So whether you can't sleep because you're so excited like I am, like that's kind of a good thing, or you're stressed or troubled, or you have anxiety about the next day, or you can't shut your mind up. And I think whether it's for a good reason or a bad reason, that's still an issue. It's still bad, right? It's still bad that I was up thinking about all the stuff that I did that day and then all the stuff that I wanted to do tomorrow. And then it almost turned into like this anxious thing because it was getting to be like midnight and I still wasn't sleeping when I had crawled into bed at around 9:45. All right. So it was getting really annoying. And that's a habit of mine. You ever crawl into bed and you don't fall asleep right away? It's quite annoying. So, here were my kind of things to help myself get to sleep, because while taking like things like pills, maybe like some people take like that crazy one. What's the crazy one? Like it's called Amplify or Amblin or whatever. Like it's gotten a bad rap now. But whether it's a melatonin pill or whether it's, this or that, or some kind of concoction that you take into yourself and those aren't working, okay, like chamomile tea, sometimes that works outright, right? But sometimes the brain is so powerful in its mind that it cannot even be calmed down by those kinds of external things that you're trying to put into your body to calm your ass down. So when those things fail you, like they did for me last night, you've really got to practice this thing of like this inner peace and of letting go so that you can allow yourself to sleep. Because I think a lot of times I'm not a psychologist. I don't pretend to know any of this. I don't have any facts to back it up, but I'm sounding so convincing right now. When your mind is troubled, right, in my experience, when your mind is troubled about anything, none of that shit's going to help. It's really not. I mean, you can maybe put a Band-Aid on it one night, but if you're still dealing with whatever you're dealing with the next day, which you are, which a pill or some kind of concoction that you drink, it's still going to be there, okay? So if your mind is troubled and anxious and whatever and stressed the hell out, you need to find a way to deal with that and create sort of like a daily practice of how you're going to deal with that. And in my experience, doing a kind of mantra, and that word I know kind of like freaks people out, but a saying to yourself over and over again. And this is what I say. I say, empty your mind. I say to myself, empty your mind, because I know my mind is full. Okay. And I could actually wake up right now at that, at midnight, come and sit down at my computer and start writing away at all my ideas and what am I going to do for the next thing. And you know what? The work will always be there. So in order for me to create the best work I can, I need to get sleep. I need to be well rested. I need to be in my top premium form, right? And so for you guys to rock out in your lives, you need to get good sleep, okay? And you need to figure out what those hours are for you. For me, it's probably, I would say 8, but I don't get 8. I really don't get 8, but I would say 8. And I'm still trying to work on this myself, but I would say to myself, empty your mind, let go, empty your mind, something like that. And it's just a kind of practice for me to get in the vibe and energy space of letting all of that stuff go for now. Just let it go. It'll be there when you come back, but let it go for now, because it's time to rest and it's time to sleep and it's time to come back and recharge those batteries so that I can rock on for the next day. Because if you keep doing this habitual thing of not getting enough sleep, you really degrade your own life and your own performance. And it's very, very debilitating. And it's something that you don't even notice because it's kind of accepted that, I didn't get enough sleep and it's okay. You probably have a lot of what Tim Ferriss calls sleep debt, right? You owe yourself some sleep. And if you've been doing this for a long time, you've gotten the practice of, keeping that from yourself, that kind of sacred thing from yourself. I mean, sleep should kind of be thought of as something sacred. And those are the types of attitudes and mental shifts that you can kind of take on to incorporate into your daily practice of letting that stuff go, letting the work or the anxiety or the stress go, and empty your mind so you can sleep and rejuvenate tonight, right? So while there's a bunch of sleep aids out there, it's like with anything. It's really only you who can have complete control. Otherwise, you depend upon something external. So whenever there's like an external sort of solution, just know that most likely is is going to be a band-aid, is going to be a temporary fix, and it may work sometimes. But wouldn't it be really nice if you can go inside to yourself, and because you've had this sort of practice, right? You practice every day being a lab rat, right? You do this daily practice of being awesome and being at your best self, is a practice. You've got to practice to learn how to let all that stuff go, those anxieties. And, I've got to practice what I preach too, guys. It never stops. It really never stops. Okay. So sleep's very important. So tonight, if you are one of those people who kind of lay in bed and it takes you like 3 hours to fall asleep, like sometimes I do, here's my routine. Okay. I put all of the devices away. Okay. So I'm not tempted to look at that shit. Like, that's really disruptive. If you can separate your office from your bedroom, I can't right now because we're in the middle of remodeling and things like that, and it's just not right. So this is what I got to do. I'm going to deal with it. So create a sanctuary for yourselves. I love to have essential lavender oil in a bottle with some water, kind of diluted, and I'll just spray it on myself or my pillows and stuff. I'll just smell that. Like, smell is so powerful. And hey. Not right now. Not on the show, man. My puppy making squeaky noises in the background is very distracting. So some lavender oil. See, interrupted me. Some lavender oil. Let that kind of fall onto you and say to yourself, empty the mind, let go. The work will be there when I get back. It's time to rest now. Whatever you want to say to yourself. All right. So that's what I say, and it usually helps. And then I'll read a book. Like, I'll actually read a real book. And I know I kind of always said in other spaces that I kind of hate reading. It puts me to sleep. But I'm reading a very good one about Miyazaki, Hayao Miyazaki, an animator. And so I kind of enjoy that. It gets me to focus not on the work that I have to do, but on what I'm reading because I'm so interested. And then I get into a nice little cozy space of just me and this book and the smell of lavender. And I'm saying to myself, let it go and empty your mind. And then I can get to sleep and stay asleep. Unless I have to pee or something, which is so annoying. But yeah, so you know how you have like morning routines? Okay, try to come up with a nighttime routine because it's still so important, okay? Everything is important. Sorry, it's a little overwhelming. Everything's important. Sleep is important, and I want you guys to prioritize your sleep, okay? So you can perform at your best. So that was today's episode, number 29, talking about sleep. Sleep's important. Get some sleep. Don't be chintzing yourself. It's a little leftover wine from last night. See, I didn't even drink all of it because I was like, okay, I'm good. I didn't drink it to fall asleep or anything, but it just felt like a wine night after like months and months of not drinking any wine. So good things, guys. Like I said, it's a Saturday. It's kind of weird podcasting on a Saturday. I hope you're having a good Saturday. And with this show, I'm going to try to keep it as light as possible because, not as light as possible, but, as light as possible and try to keep it as current as possible. I was going to pre-record a bunch yesterday. And I thought, that kind of defeats the purpose of the whole daily thing, So yeah, we're going to do these things on the day of, and I know that's going to be a challenge at some point, but I'm up for the challenge. I think I'm ready for it. I'm into that pro podcaster level, it's kind of like a game. All right, guys. So we're kind of coming up upon 15 minutes. I think that's a good little listen. I hope you guys are getting some exercise. I'm going to go head outside, enjoy the sun, get some vitamin D while I do some stretching and some yoga because it's that time of month. And yeah, good things. Good things. So, TMI too much? Sorry. Okay. All right, lab rats. Take care. Once again, my name is Megan, and I'm out. See ya.